Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got here an Olympia SKM compact standard / correspondence typewriter. It's larger than an SM series portable but smaller than the full-size SG1 and 3 models from Olympia, so it's a step between, though perhaps it didn't really have a market to fill. However, if you do have an office desk that is short on space, this filled that gap between the full features of a standard size typewriter and was a little more stable to type on because of its larger footprint than a smaller SM series portable. My impressions of the machine are quite good actually. Although it's an all plastic bodied machine, this machine is over 50 years old. There are no cracks on this plastic, it's very durable. The touch on the machine is quite unique. Although it borrows some parts from the SM series typewriters, it neither types like an SM nor an SG typewriter. There's something in between. Overall, I'd say it has a very light touch to the keyboard. It's very crisp and fast to respond, but maybe not quite as sharp as an SG and not as soft feeling as an SM. It's very hard to describe the feel of this keyboard. You would have to try one yourself to gain a good impression of it. Overall though, I think it's a good design from Olympia in terms of a typewriter. I think if you were an author, if you were writing novels or reports, this would be a typewriter you'd be happy to use for hours at a time. It's quite effortless to type on, as most Olympias are. This particular machine has the senatorial typeface from Olympia. Some other manufacturers called this the cubic typeface, so it's quite a modern looking appearance to this typewriter's output. I think one thing that sets this apart even from the SM series is that although it's larger, to me it actually feels lighter when lifting and moving the typewriter because of the all plastic body. Unlike the SM and SG series metal bodies, this is really a compact standard that is a portable standard, I suppose you could call it. It's quite a unique machine in that respect. There aren't really many examples of these in-between portable and standard sizes from typewriter manufacturers, so it was an interesting development from Olympia. And indeed I have a copy of one of the original sales flyers that went out when this model was first being marketed, which I'll bring up on the screen now. It highlighted some of the features of this machine, and you will see it calls it the Office Correspondence Typewriter, and particularly refers to secretaries loving the typewriter, so it definitely was aimed at an office market rather than for home use. As with any of the Olympia typewriters, it takes a standard Group 1 ribbon, and it is much the same to change a ribbon on this machine as it is on an SM series typewriter or the SG. Many of the components are shared between the two. I think it would be fair to call this machine a hybrid, possibly between the two of them. So yeah, here's my impressions. I think it's a great machine. If you get the opportunity to acquire one, I'd certainly say it's a buy. I wouldn't walk away from one of these machines. It's still top Olympia quality. Whether it's a metal or plastic case would not deter me from the typewriter. What I always assess each machine on is its quality. How has it held up? What condition is it in? And does it do its job well? And I think in the case of the SKM, it's certainly a great typewriter, but I'm not entirely sure where the market for these machines would be. If you wanted a portable machine, you'd be much better off with an SM series, which comes with a case and is easily transported. And if you were going to do a large amount of typing in the office, the SG series seems an obvious choice for the typist in the professional environment. So although it's an interesting typewriter and it's really good at what it does, it's not hard to see why it didn't really take off for Olympia, and it was only made for a stint of a few years in the 1970s. It didn't span either side of the decade, so I think Olympia perhaps struggled to find a target market for this machine. So removing the lid from this machine, you'll see that on the left hand side here is the touch control adjustment. Down is the heaviest touch setting for this machine. And all the way to the top is the lightest setting with the least spring resistance. I prefer it somewhere in between. And this machine features the margin release, which also acts as a type bar de-jammer. The paper rest also has the marked lines to indicate when you are reaching the last line of your page. The lid just snaps back on very easily. Paper bell release lever for quick release, and the paper rest folds away. Having a look round at the machine, you can see it's quite angular in nature. There's a paper guide and margin stops are there. However, this is missing the margin stop indicator. Line position on the left as standard. It has single, single and a half and double line spacing. It has a carriage release button on both the right and left hand side of the carriage. And it also has an all clear tab lever to the right hand side. Both platen knobs are fixed on this machine and do not have the feature of platen release. The keys are very fast to respond to the touch. There's hardly any lost motion between actually touching the key and the type bars moving up from the rest position. So I think this makes the machine a very responsive machine for the fast typist. Underneath, let's bring it forward so you can have a closer view. You will see as we got into the 70s, Olympia started to use some more plastic components in their typewriters. Most notably here you will see in the mainspring housing is made of plastic instead of metal. However, it's still perfectly good. There's again nothing broken on this machine, and the escapement mechanism is here, and it is really easy to access should you need to. There are two cutouts in the base of the machine here, and these make the typewriter really easy to lift and carry. And it has a very large carriage return lever which suits the machine perfectly.